pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Esto juntos se lleva a cabo en inglés, pero contamos con servicio de traducción. Si alguien gusta hacer un comentario público o recibir explicaciones en español, por favor indique su necesidad. All right, we're now going to work through the agenda. Are there any proposed changes to the agenda? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda were sent to the board and posted online last week. The board has had the opportunity to review the materials and ask the superintendent any questions they have had about any items on the consent agenda. The consent agenda for this meeting includes the minutes for the 12/2/25 regular meeting, vouchers and payroll, personnel report, contracts, September financial report, December enrollment report, and the school improvement plans for Wenatchee High School, Special Ed, Open Doors, and Castle Rock. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented. Whoa, that's hot.
Hot mic. Second.
All right, it has been moved by Julie and seconded by Mark. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of adopting the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Motion carries. All right, moving quickly into bright spots. Corey.
Excellent. We have our Health Occupations Student Association here with us, known as HOSA. We love our acronyms in education. And Tracy Kasnick is the leader here, and she has some students with us and a presentation that she has created and the team has put together. So please join us here at the podium. This is, yes, we have some festive garland there for you and everything. We're ready.
Right now, I'm a CTE coordinator. I also teach on and off. And I'm one of 4 HOSA advisors. So I wear different hats depending on what time of day it is and what day of the week it is. So this is HOSA. And let me tell you just a little bit about HOSA. Let me see if I can work it. Oh, I can. Okay. HOSA is an international student-led organization, and it is recognized by pretty much everybody. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary this coming year. So this is a big deal. We're having a big party. The international conference is in Indianapolis this year. And we're hoping that we get to go. But 50 years, and there are about 3 million alumni and current members, to give you an idea of how big HOSA is. The mission is to empower future healthcare professionals. HOSA used to stand for Health Occupation Student Association, and they felt that that was not really inclusive. So a couple years ago, that really changed to future health professionals. And HOSA has 4 guiding principles: to learn, to lead, to serve, and to innovate. And this is our membership. In 2023 to 2024, we had 18 members, and 7 members competed at the spring conference. In the following year, last year, we had 40 members, and we took 14 who competed in the spring conference. And Vivian will talk a little bit about one of the teams actually got 3rd in the state and advanced to internationals. So we're very proud of that. And then this year, as of 3:25 today, which I locked my door, we are now up to 65 members. So it's record numbers, and it's record numbers not just at Wenatchee High, but in Washington State, we've way over 5,000, and nationally as well. we don't know who's going to the spring conference just yet. So I'd like to introduce you to two of our members. This is Vivian Wallace. She is our president, and Alejandro Gonzalez, who is our treasurer and our reporter. And I'm going to turn it over to Vivian. She's a sophomore. She's our president this year, and her goal is to be a physician assistant. Yeah, go for it, girl.
Hey, hi, I'm Vivian. Last year I joined HOSA because I've just always been interested in having a career in healthcare. And since then, I've been given several opportunities that have helped me grow as a person and a leader. One of which was going to the state leadership conference last year and getting third, and then going to the international conference, which also learned a lot from. So yeah, it's just been a great opportunity that I'm grateful that CASNIC has given to me.
So this is Alejandro, and he is a senior, and his goal is to be a nurse practitioner. I'll let you tell everybody a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Gonzalez, and I joined HOSA this year specifically because the people around me has always told me, like, you have a future in healthcare. And I never listened to them until my junior year when I completed a certified nursing assistant class, thanks to Wenatchee High School. And then I decided to further my studies, and I joined a medical assistant class where I got the opportunity to go to Confluence and see all types of stuff. Like in this picture, I am at a growth lab where I think I'm looking at I think it's a uterus. And I just feel like HOSA has really helped me see more into the future and more than present. Like I see myself now being able to be a nurse practitioner because of HOSA. It really has grown my confidence, and I feel like I am someone, and HOSA has really it's helped me grow out of my shell. I was not comfortable talking in front of people. I never thought of myself as a leader until I joined HOSA.
Okay, so a little bit about what it is we do. We went to the international conference in June of last year. It was a little overwhelming. What Vivian didn't tell you, there were over 14,000 students there, and we were in one conference center. So if you've ever seen 14,000 international students in one place, with their advisors and with vendors, it was a wonderful and interesting and terrifying event. We advanced to the second round, but because there were a lot of students, we didn't make it further than that, but that's great. I think we did really great for our first time out of the gate, and we're going to keep working at this. The event that we participated with, we partner with MRC, that's the Medical Response Corps for Chelan and Douglas County. And our students work with the Medical Reserve Corps and volunteer with them to do emergency preparedness activities. So just a few of the activities that we participate with. We do HOSA partners with the American Red Cross to do 2 blood drives at the high school each year. We used to do them in the gym, and for many infrastructure reasons, we moved that to New Commons. And the wonderful side effect of that was visibility, because the kids now are seeing blood drive, and they're asking a lot of questions, and they're wanting more information about blood donation. So now I'm going to classes and I'm teaching about blood, which we didn't do that before. So in 2024, we were able to collect 79 units. And in 25, we just did one blood drive in November that went to 85. So pretty proud of that as well. We also partner with the National Marrow Donor Program, and the students were taught how to swab for DNA. So they can obtain DNA from potential donors, secure it, send it off, and This is the program that used to be called Be the Match, and it's specifically for patients who have leukemia and lymphoma. Those are the patients most frequently who need bone marrow transplants. And if they're a match, they're called, and that is a life-saving treatment. We have not done one this academic year so far, but are looking to see what we can do in January or February. That's at the Wild this past spring. We have started something called Doctor for a Day and turned it into workshops. The December Doctor for a Day workshop was Learn to Suture. And we used suture simulators, and Dr. Dennis Utley, who is a retired OBGYN here in town, came in and taught students how to suture, and specifically not just suture, but how to tie, which is really tricky because if you don't tie, your sutures come undone. So students had an hour and a half of fun learning how to suture and not sticking themselves. You see all those nice little sharps containers up there. In January, we're partnering with Central Washington University, and they're coming in and doing an occupational health and safety workshop on a Saturday. That is now one of the academic programs that they offer. And they will set up a occupational accident that the students can analyze and solve. There'll be several hands-on activities, and then we'll wrap that 2-hour session up with some pizza. AHEC has been a wonderful partner. This is the Area Health Education Centers. They are the sponsor for the scrub camps every year, but they also have sponsored us with our travel both at the international level and at the state level. And I really need to give a shout out to AHEC. Last year, we had about 150 students from the Wenatchee Valley area, and that went up to, I believe, Chelan, and then Quincy. The Basin had their own event earlier in the year, and we're going to repeat that again in April of this next year and try to attract students that are a bit younger. So we've really focused on juniors and seniors, and maybe now go for the freshmen and sophomores so that we can capture that age group. So that's what we're up to. Can we answer any questions?
I was gonna ask, so it sounds like there's a lot of things going on. Is there's like some way that you're preparing for that? Are there regular meetings or just part of classes, or how are you preparing for like a scrub camp or a blood drive?
Yes, yes, and yes. So we have a business meeting every other week for HOSA. So we're fitting between 40 and 50 kids at lunchtime in a classroom. They bring lunch, and Vivian calls the meeting to order. That's why I was just so thrilled you're using parliamentary procedure, and she was able to watch that because it's hard when you're a student and have never seen it before. And then on the off weeks, the officers do that same thing, and the officers meet. So those are the structured meetings. We do have some meetings after school that we do. I meet with the advisors and coordinate with the advisors. And then I meet with people in the community to try to coordinate a lot of this as well.
And then is it like whoever wants to come, or do you kind of get signed up to the start and then you kind of have that same cohort go through the year?
We had some returning members, but what was really gratifying for me this year is, and I started with the district in 23, and it was mainly seniors with a handful of juniors. And now this has grown to a lot of freshmen and sophomores, which that's exactly what we wanted to see.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for all that information.
This is more for Vivian and Alejandro. How do y'all feel like the recruiting goes when you're at the school? I mean, are you, besides the events that you do as outreach, are you feeling like kids are getting engaged or asking questions? How does that go?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we have a club fair and we get to answer a lot of questions for that and recruit a lot of members. Then just like throughout the year and what people say who are in the club too. Yeah.
I mean, this is my first year in HOSA, and I feel like I've heard about HOSA a lot more this year, and that's why I was like pushed to go, especially because there was people around me who were in HOSA, and they were also interested in HOSA, and they pushed me to go. I just found it like really interesting, and I feel like a lot of people found it really interesting this year too.
I think the word of mouth has caught on
Yeah.
pretty well. And I really cover your ears, students. I really have to thank the board for your leadership in the no phone policy, because this has opened up this wonderful world of we can't be on our phones during lunch. What else are we going to do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation, Tracy. Thank you for your leadership. And Vivian and Alejandro, thank you for your leadership. We love to hear from you, and it's great to see your growth through this process. So it's nice to have a club president who's as a sophomore. So that's really a valuable process. So thanks so much. We appreciate you being here.
Hey,
Thanks, guys.
we will leave your meeting.
Okay. Kim, do we have any citizen comments? Okay.
All right.
So Corey, that's you, special presentations.
Yes. So as the board knows, on our consent agenda today, we had a contract for tech center construction. So also tonight, coincidentally, we have a huge amount of work that's being done at Wenatchee Valley Technical Skills Center to the tune of $14 million and some change from a grant fund from the state. So we're very excited. And we have our all-star cast here this evening. We have Matt Piano from Closh, Rob Decker from Garco, Ken Murphy from ALSC. I can't say it tonight. ALSC. Thank you. Sorry about that, Ken. And then we have the director, Pete Jelsing. These are the masterminds behind the work that you're about to see this evening. So thank you for joining us in your travels tonight. And we invite you to come talk us through the slideshow presentation that you have for us. ALSC. I can say it. It's good. It's got to slow things down a little bit.
Good evening, Pete Jelsing, Wenatchee Valley Tech Center. I'm just going to start by saying it's been a heck of a process, been a lot of learning, a lot of guidance. Corey's been a big part, Brian and his team, and actually our technology as well. It has definitely been a district effort, and but I will also say that these three, not just these three, because these might be the voices, but their teams have been amazing. There is so much that goes into making projects like this happen, way more than I would have ever guessed. But it's been an awesome partnership. And I know we've already talked about what that partnership looks like. However, I just want to say thank you to the three of you for making it somewhat enjoyable, but also hitting the details and making sure that one, we're on budget, which is amazing, but also a great learning experience for me. I'll let them go.
Yeah, I think we do have a presentation, so we'll probably wait till that gets up here. And yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Well, echoing Pete's sentiment, really thank you to the board, thank you to the cabinet for having us here tonight. We are very excited to share updates on the project, and the biggest thing that we're, I think, here and thankful for too is just the engagement from the district. Pete, you specifically, and then from our design build team here as well. I'll kind of go through intros again. Matt Piano with Klosh Group, so I'm the owner's rep for the district on this project. Ken, I'll kind of let you intro too.
Ken Murphy, principal with ALSC Architects.
Nice job on the name there. Yeah, this is good. ALSC. I'm Rob Decker with Garco Construction. We're a contractor out of Spokane. We're the design builder on the project.
So I just hit the arrow. Okay. Am I pointing at something or?
See, this is how it works for me.
There we go.
Just, okay, good.
Alrighty, so here we have the agenda. We're gonna kind of talk through, it's a little out of order. I'm actually gonna talk through our project milestones and then our obstacles and responses, and then I'll let Ken get into guiding principles, scope review for building A and B, and then Rob will kind of wrap it up with project schedule and Sean's favorite project budget. So we will hit on that definitely. Alrighty, so I'm gonna jump. Okay, so we kind of wanted to kick this off and go through some of the milestones that we've kind of achieved to date. Really just painting a picture for the project. Really, when we kicked this off, and it is a bit surreal. I think I was back here in April, and we had just put this out for bid. So we were going through like the RFP process, and now here we are in December, and we're going to start construction in mid-January. So it's been just a great process to get here, and we're really excited about the next year or so. So when we kind of talk about milestones, especially with like a progressive design build delivery, the big one is getting through this validation phase. So essentially what that means is we put the contract out for bid, we awarded the design build team, and then we got really into a pretty fast, I think it was 30 days as far as validation piece of the project. And what that is taking like the programmatic kind of design needs of Pete and the district team and sitting down with our design and builder and saying, hey, we can achieve this project at this budget and with this schedule. And we were able to do that. It was a tight squeeze and a great effort from the entire team. So that was kind of milestone one. The momentum off that went into having our building B drawing set submitted for permit in early November. And we're kind of expecting some comments back from the city this week on that. But everything to date has been very promising, and we're not seeing any friction points there. Kind of concurrently with that, we were able to work through another regulatory milestone, if you will. We worked kind of hand in hand with the City of Wenatchee Planning Commission on kind of making some amendments to the zoning code for specifically the tech center and kind of that industrial zoned area therein, which actually allows us to now just permit the project outright as opposed to having to go through like a conditional use process with a land use approval as well. So really just streamlining our efforts here. And it was a great work from the city and the mayor, and Pete and I were there last Thursday, and it was pretty easy. We didn't have to do much. So that was great. Other milestone on this was issuing the GMP amendment number 1, which was part of the consent agenda tonight. So we thank you for that. We appreciate it, which really just kind of sets us up for success now going into building A. As we work through the permit set on that should be submitted early-ish next week. And then we'll take a look at the amendment on that probably mid-January. And another milestone, it's kind of just this concurrent track of design and build that we're going on right now. And a lot of the phasing and ensuring, student staff disruption is a minimal, and really a big testament to that kind of gets into our key drivers for success. And I just want to really highlight the collaboration on this. Like Pete, I can't thank you enough, Brian enough. There's been multiple occasions where Brian brings the entire M&O team to the tech center, and we walk through like finishes and plumbing fixtures. I mean, everything in between, just to make sure that this is a construction project that's easy to maintain now and going forward. And to include, you know, Dr. Kalahar and then Sean, your involvement on the project. I mean, there's been no short of that. And then, I mean, personally, you know, Rob and Ken, you and your teams, I mean, the commitment, and I just want to tell a quick story and then next slide on this, but Pete and I were meeting with Jeff, who's one of the lead architects from ALSC the other day, and we were talking about moving some design feature in building A, and Jeff goes, well, no, you know, I don't think you can do that because when I was there last time, I spent, you know, about 30, 40 minutes watching Chief take his, you know, fire science program kind of through their training. And he was like, I built this in here because it's like a great area for them to stage and do their like pre-mission checks, you know, check equipment, make their calls. And it was like to see that level of design was awesome. And like it's such a like specific approach to how this tech center is going to benefit now and for years to come. So I think the commitment and the attention to detail has just been such a huge factor and driver for success for this team. All right, next slide. So just kind of summarizing some of the obstacles and responses. Phasing around school operations, that's a key one. This is an active campus, so we're trying to address that promptly. We've worked with Pete and developing a schedule that Rob will get into and how we phased it, and we're going to kind of mitigate that to the best of our ability. Concurrent building A and B delivery, it's kind of the same concept as just we've all been at the table, we're all there planning and walking through these elements, and then even taking that next step to work with the city on a planning commission level. Cost escalation and market volatility, you know, that's just kind of the nature of our current climate here, but you actually saw one of those responses executed on the GMP today, essentially identifying long lead equipment and procuring that now rather than waiting for inflation to go up and kind of have those prices increase on us. And then regulatory and permitting timelines, a big piece on that has just been working directly with the city, and a lot of that's a testament to the ALSC team and their, you know, communication with the planning department, and then proactive, you know, authority having jurisdiction coordination. Just another piece summarized by our trip to city council the other night. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ken. We'll kind of go back to our guiding principles, and then I'll let you get in scope.
Thank you. And we always begin our projects and listening and trying to understand really what, from a kind of a high level, what is success look like on these projects. So starting to work with Pete and his staff and the administration, what are those things that we walk away from that we're really going as we test even during design, test solutions, test ideas, are they fulfilling on this? And one of the first things that I might have even been at the interview when we were talking about this, what are the goals for the project that Pete mentioned was, you know, this place changes lives. It's like, that's a pretty easy for us and exciting for us to be involved on a project where that really is the, you know, the main goal of the project. And really for the last few months, a little bit more than that, you know, it's always coming back to that. Are we doing and fulfilling on that specifically? We talked a lot about the experience, and we heard a lot about the experience for these students, you know, experiential learning and how important these students are, certainly just as important to you and to this team as the rest of the students in your district. Connections was really important. Connections that their staff is doing and their programs are doing with different industries in the area, connections between students, between, you know, staff and students. How do we facilitate that in a building, and looking for those opportunities? We've talked a lot about growth, individual growth of certainly of individuals and students and their development. But what does growth look like for 20 and 30 years, and a sense of flexibility and adaptability? The programs and the industry things that you're meeting and those opportunities will certainly be different, and making sure that we're allowing and providing for those opportunities in the future. And then stewardship, certainly, you know, Pete's always pushing, it's great. You know, how is this impacting students? It's either got to be doing that, or it's got to be, how are we making decisions and creating things that are easy to maintain and are durable and are going to be long lasting. So those are certainly the guiding principles that have been that we've been working through. Not sure which of these. Let's see, there we go. So walk through the two different buildings and some of the scope that we're working on. So this is building A. So there's areas of the building that we're touching a fair bit and some that we're lightly touching, getting back to our budget and balancing scope, quality and budget. But maybe I'll start over here on the right-hand side, but the fire science is certainly one of the programs, important program at the school, and a large reworking and addition. It's the one addition actually. So the far bay on the right, the apparatus bay, that's an addition. Most of the rest of the scope of this project is modernization, but really reworking how that is going to function. And again, as you know, as was mentioned, understanding from the chief, how are they operating now? How do they want to operate in the future? And what are those opportunities to meet the student needs? You'll see a picture in a little bit, but adding a stair tower was a big piece of it. And a lot of training on stairs and going upstairs and how firefighters are getting into buildings to put out the fires, to rescue people. So that's a new opportunity that this building will have and this program will have. A lot of work that they do with ladders and getting up to those, and inside the building they'll be able to do a lot of those types of things. This on the lower right hand side, this dark room, smoke room. It won't really be smoke, but will be fog. And so the type of training that they can do in there and facilitate kind of real learning experiences for students. The multi-purpose room there, kind of in the middle building. If you've been in it recently, you probably remember that. But how do we create a real multi-use functional space? We had conversations with culinary, and they wanted a demonstration kitchen that they'd use maybe a couple times a week, I think it was. So how do we create a space that accommodates that, but isn't just dedicated to that? So we ended up creating this opening between that multi-purpose room and the kitchen, the culinary kitchen, allowing for that demonstration, allowing for it to be teaching, and then the rest of the day, the rest of the week, lots of different functions that can happen in that space as well. Reworking a little bit on the lobby and the entrance and the circulation, improving after conversations with staff on how that can flow, how we can deal with acoustics and certainly safety. They have a cafe there that every time we seem to go there, we get treated with food. So that's a bonus to keep coming back. But reworking how the cafe works for students and services that they do out of that. It's a great program. Go through some of the images of this. So this is as you're walking in the front door, reworking how the administration, so there is still a secure vestibule, an opportunity without even coming into the school. There's kind of a window back there kind of behind the guy standing up, or opportunities certainly for students to engage at admin. It's also a student gathering area, so creating some acoustical separation so that we're allowing admin to do their job as well as accommodating the students. Another image kind of turning, looking towards that conference space, that flexible space, and then you can see the signage for the cafe down the hallway, and just the characters you're arriving into this building. Some of the images of the fire science. So on the left-hand side, the exterior image, that's all new construction. We've tested a lot of different ways of how do we build that? What's the most cost-effective to be durable on the inside with all the things that they're doing of laying ladders up against it, and for that type of a program with the heavy equipment and gear. So this is actually going to be a precast concrete planks. And then you can see the images on the bottom, some of the academic spaces. There's a little fitness component to it. The middle one, the training, which a lot of times will have an apparatus bay, and it'll have the truck in there, and they're doing lots of different things. And then the image on the left, the classroom component, making sure that in those different spaces, there's lots of visual connection between them. So there's good supervision. A lot of those spaces can be used at the same time, with one teacher in there when students are doing different things. There's also locker rooms accommodating changing and the different equipment that they have that they're working with. So this is a section through that stair tower and just the flexibility of all the different training that they do, and a new feature that they'll have for this program, and the smoke training room up top. But a lot of details, as mentioned, and making sure these things work right and are really going to facilitate the way the teacher is training these folks and the opportunities that they have to learn a lot of different techniques and things that they need to learn. So this is the building B. So it's the next building down. Currently on the second floor of this building, it was a shelled in space. They're kind of using some of that space, I suppose, at the moment, but really trying to find opportunities to build out some programs. So on this one, on the far right, there's a dental assistant, a dental hygiene program that's being added. So that's a new program that they'll be offering. The middle area, the medical occupations, a lot of different nursing type things that they can teach in there. They are doing some of that currently in building A, so that'll move into this building and free up some educational space in building A for some other programs. And then we've got a couple of general classrooms. So both the dental and the medical have got, lab spaces. They've got chairs for dental. They have those kinds of components, but then they also have some small areas for teaching. So within that same space, throughout the day, they could be either more lecture style and then going back into some of the medical areas and getting that type of training. And then some support spaces up top there. This is, the new image as you walk into that. So right now you walk into a 2-story kind of entrance. So now when you walk in, you'll have some glass and there'll be some visual connection to some of those educational spaces. Part we've been talking about in a lot of these different programs is having visibility. Maybe someone goes there for their first year and they think they're interested in a program and they can at least learn and realize just the different opportunities that that they could explore, and maybe they switch and go to one of these other opportunities and learn. But an image of one of the classroom spaces. So part of what we're doing in that building is creating some new exterior windows. So there's some natural light. Right now there's no exterior windows in that second floor. So doing that as well as having good visual connection. You can kind of see a little bit on the very left edge that, but even between the two classrooms, there's a lot of conversation about how do we use these two classrooms. At times, if it's used with one teacher, making sure we have good visual connection between it. We can have students in each classroom, and there's supervision and flexibility on how those spaces are used. And then this is just the educational component of one of those two spaces, and just the classroom component of it. On the other side of this wall is all the medical and the dental pieces, but creating flexible educational spaces for those programs. That's our last image on it. I want to talk about our phasing.
Yeah. Real brief talk about phasing here, and this is part of that collaboration that we talked about. And I think, Pete, you actually had this plan in your head, and we kind of melded our view of the project with Pete's. But occupied campus, safety of students, staff, faculty, of our own workers, the number one priority. The second priority is to minimize disruption to learning, the academic environment. And so that's the point of the phasing. Building B on your left in blue, it's pretty well self-contained. We're all up on the second level. We have access points that we're going to be putting in, those stairs on the bottom of the screen, and then also inside the building, they'll be done during off hours. But there will be a little bit of noise. As someone smart once said, to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. So we're going to do some of that, but we'll try to minimize disruption during learning hours. So B, like I said, pretty isolated. We'll start that here in the middle of January. In December, we'll finish up some what we call site investigation and doing some layout and just final things before we start. Once we get permits, which we think will be in the middle of January, we'll go ahead and start construction in B. At about the middle or beginning of February, we're going to relocate fire science out of their current space. We'll go over to the multi-purpose room across the street. And that'll allow us to then, while B is ongoing, start the addition for fire science in the work, which is what we call phase 2, which is in the reddish color screen right, kind of to the bottom. So that'll go through August with building B. We'll finish that for the start of the school year in 26. And then we will slowly transition north into the culinary arts, the multi-purpose. We think we can start somewhere around spring break timeline. And then we'll continue building through the lobby, and we'll finish up with the admin. There'll probably be a brief relocation of admin. We'll try to get that work done in the summer, but they may have to operate out of that multi-purpose room while we're finishing their space. No, I'm not sure that's a thing, but yeah. Yeah. Any questions on phasing? No? Let's see if I can do that. All right. And then schedule, just to echo the phasing. As you know, we have what we call a guaranteed maximum price amendment to our contract that you just approved. Thank you for building B. And then somewhere in the middle of January to the middle of February, we'll have building A ready for approval. So that'll complete the project contract. We'll get to budget here in a second. And then you can see kind of linearly schedule how it aligns with school. So we're going to try to finish this. It'll be under a year. But we'll try to get as close as we can to that October, November date. It really depends on, again, we want to minimize disruption. We want to be agile and respond to feedback we may be getting on operations, and so we'll adjust. But our goal is to get it done as soon as we can. This is pretty simple. We're on budget. We have 10.6 million, not a penny more, and that's where the project will remain. One of the benefits of this delivery method is we design to our budget. We don't budget a design, so we maximize budget through what we call owner betterments, so that as risk reduces, we can apply contingency funds to those betterments and hopefully improve the overall project. But right now, we are right on budget and headed in the right direction. Any questions on budget or anything else?
Has the weather affected this at all? I'm crossing my fingers. The answer is no, since you haven't not taken yet.
We haven't started yet, so the answer is no. Weather's always a thing. Luckily, in this project, most of the work is under dried-in roof already. We do have that fire science edition that will start in the springtime, and but we're pretty versed in working and through the winter and rainy events and whatnot. But so, yeah. But so far, no. Thank you.
Optimism sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just excited to hear about the process and the collaboration, because it sounds like we're getting a really good product out of this because of such good foresight. I'm super impressed by the motivation to go to the city to achieve a planning amendment, so to simplify the permitting process. That's huge. And just, I do some municipal contracting and public works projects, so I'm excited to see this process. This is one of the first times I've actually seen this process go through, so I'm really excited to just kind of be on the journey with you all, so to hear more about it, because so far it seems like it's working really well. And so just good job. I like what I'm hearing so far.
It's been great. I will say the leadership from the district, it's not common to see a superintendent of a school district come to our meetings. Corey, you don't attend the whole meeting a lot of times, but you show up. And also with Pete, I mean, it is really, and there's been, it seems like a lot of high-fiving, and we haven't done anything yet. We gotta prove ourselves here, but it's really a joy to serve the district. That's not always the case where we have leadership at the district level, at the owner level. So it makes our job a lot easier, for sure.
Well, it doesn't always start that way, so I'm glad at least we're all high-fiving now.
I had a question. Sorry, Corey. With the guiding principles that you mentioned at the beginning, and you talked about all the collaboration, I assume that the kids were involved in helping to kind of design or do something in this based on that. Is that accurate? How were they involved in the process?
I would say, I think, well, one was we're starting a project with the, well, to say dental, new program. Not so much. With our other programs, specifically fire science and med-onc, they have been a part of, listened, heard, shared, hey, this would be a good idea. With prodding, I mean, there has been guidance through it. I mean, they don't know what they don't know. But I do think, like the example Matt shared, it's been really cool because this team and their staff have been on the ground. And it's not just the questioning, but they have got to watch our students in action. And I think that that has been a really an amazing factor. So I guess to that point, there has been, now they want, them video game. I mean, like there's different things that they do want, but I think overall, I do. I think that they have been super excited about it. They also understand that there's going to be some, not setbacks, but displacement as we get there. But they have been a part of the whole conversation. I mean, Dave and I sit down, Mitzi and I sit down, and sometimes it's just in the moment, things are happening. We got, hey, let's make decisions. And there'll be some kid pipe up with a good decision answer. And then there's somebody that's like, okay, I'll make a note. But yeah, I do think it has been super collaborative, not just with our students, but advisories. Again, dental would be, it's a challenging one, but I've got so far a dentist that we've been collaborating. We also have already a dental hygienist. I have somebody who has actually ran the dental program in another skill center that we've been interacting with, and then we've got a lot of experts, from Ken's group outside in those programs that have helped in our design process, but also have kept our costs down, which is, man, there's just so many different moving pieces. But I think that this whole process just goes back to, it is super collaborative. And there is a partnership that, when we high five, that's under, again, Kelly, plug your ears. There's hugging. It's not just high fiving. I just want you to know, but it is a partnership. And again, I know we haven't started to build yet. But I think we have an amazing team, amazing staff. Sean, I didn't do you right at the start. Here's the thing, Sean and his team, it is a nightmare. I mean, when it comes to budget and bills going here, with maintenance as well, they've had to make a lot of adjustments, and we're already short-staffed, and I understand that, and they have stepped up. I mean, there's the emails that I go through, I'm like, no, thank you, literally. So we have an amazing team that is in place. They've made it super easy, super professional, but also like to have a good time and laugh some. It's a perfect fit. It just really is. Our staff, instructors, the conversations that they have, they just feel free to be able to share, and email, talk. I just can't tell you. One, it's been huge learning, but it's made it easy for me being in the building and still maintaining building stuff. I just can't say how much I appreciate everybody that has come along. So great question. Thank you.
A little bit of a follow on to that for just a second. I mean, there's still the opportunity during construction as well for this to be a learning experience. One of the last projects that we worked on together was an elementary school, and they did it even during construction with elementary kids, which most people don't think is a good idea to bring through construction, but carefully done, it can be done. So anyway, it's a great opportunity, for the next, whatever, 6-8 months as well for learning experience.
Excellent. I want to thank everybody. It's the delivery method, progressive design, built. This is a first for me as a superintendent. I think it's a first for our school district in a number of ways. And so it is an amazing process. This team truly is a team. Every time I walk in, it's just great. The relationships that are built are lasting, and they're going to see us through any unforeseen things that are behind these walls once we start ripping into them. But no, it's been really cool. And what we saw tonight is it's a great snapshot of where we are and a little bit of a snapshot of where we've been. It's an oversimplification of the work that has been done. We started a year ago when we started reaching out for our project management team and triangulating on Klosh Group. But it has been a great process. And it's kind of one of those things where, unlike the softball field, which you saw or I saw every time I drove to the high school or to Lincoln or to Mission View, we don't always see what's going on out there, and it's inside the walls of the building itself. So once that happens, we'll need some other additional updates.
Yeah.
And just love the timeline. Thank you for that. We know we have until June of 2027 to be absolutely done, but the timeline that you have set gives us so much time to be prepared and ready. So just thank you and kudos, and wish you all safe travels and happy holidays. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks. Appreciate it. We don't have discussion or action today. So Corey, superintendent report, back on the hot seat.
Let's jump into it. I love it. So a few things that I've had the pleasure of doing over the last couple of weeks. A week ago, last Sunday, Alfonso kicked off his annual indoor soccer tournament. So Foothills Middle School parking lot was full. The crowd was ready for some soccer. Thanks, guys. Alfonso had Diana and I, and then our athletic director, BJ Kuntz, on hand to welcome the group and share some thoughts and some inspiration. And I was trying to get the crowd worked up about let's go Panthers, but it was a tough crowd. I don't know if it was early. Diana was there. She's like, Corey, just let it go. I'm like, all right. And then Alfonso had us all try to score a goal, and which none of us made. So that was great. The quality of elementary soccer players was great. So it was good. Or lack of skill on our part, one of the two. Last Friday, I had a great opportunity to work with Eastmont Superintendent Spencer Taylor and the Chamber of Commerce. We designed, so every month the Chamber of Commerce leadership class has a different theme. And for December, it was education. And so we designed a day of leadership training and education for this group. We started here in our boardroom for an hour and a half or so. And then we went to Valley Academy, where Mrs. Gelsing, Pete's better half, took us through an hour at Valley Academy. Students presented, teachers presented, and we got a tour of their school and building. And then we ended up at the East Wenatchee or Eastmont School District main boardroom, where we heard from our AEM students on energy efficiency. We heard from Project Search, and then Diana gave a presentation on bonds, just bonds in general overall, with a specific focus on our bond. And then Spencer and I each gave an update to the group on where we are in our bond planning and trajectory. So it was a great, fascinating, fun day of leaders. And then just to add, I think at this point, we want to thank our community. Our community enjoys celebrating our students around the holidays. And so Wenatchee Police Department and Chelan County Sheriffs, we want to thank them for all, and everyone else that supports Shop with a Cop. That is a huge monumental event that has grown tremendously. I mean, it's amazing what all goes into that now. We also want to thank our Kiwanis Club and the Lions Club for hosting holiday luncheons last week for our students, which was super fun and great. Yeah, and then we've got a few more weeks of school before winter break. So we have many blessings. So sorry, we have 3 more days. Yeah, 3 more days. Yes. I know. Yes. So anyway, yes, thank you. Please watch out for one another, be good to each other, and enjoy the winter break. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Corey. I will get us for board communication. Caroline will get us started. Yeah,
good. Start with the one that talks the most. This goes back to learning walks, right? That is included in this, or was that last time? That was the last time?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. I can't keep track of things. I'm still thinking about it. Those teachers wowed me. I guess not much happened since then. I guess boys basketball and girls wrestling wrapped up. Great seasons all across different schools. And looking forward to going to the West Side talent show on Friday. So that'll be for next report.
All right, Julie.
I don't have anything, but I just want to clarify, boys basketball for the middle schools, I assume. Okay, I was like, I am pretty sure we are still in the middle of Panther basketball season, but I've got nothing. I've spent the last 2 weeks trying to get ready for Christmas, so I'm excited for 3 days until break. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mark.
I feel like I'm pulling out a Martin. I had some notes that I was.
There we
going to-
go.
So first, I would just want to say my thoughts, and I assume all of ours, out to Cascade School District and everyone else that was affected during the weather. More to come. So they were telling us at work, make sure you tell everyone to charge up your cell phones, charge up your laptops, etc. I enjoyed participating in the Nutcracker with lots of Wenatchee students and some staff. That was exciting. And the Pioneer Winter Band choir concert was great this past week. And yes, I was also going to mention the Pioneer basketball boys completed their season, which was an exciting time. Really was. That's all I had.
I will add to that. I was at the restructuring committee let me sit in yesterday. I got to be an honorary member for the day, and they tolerated me well. And the work that they're doing is phenomenal. I mean, I think the breadth of ideas that we were thrown out there during brainstorming were truly varied in a way that was like, we're not even looking at the box anymore. We are so far outside. But I really think that kind of work needs to be done before you can get, really feel like you've kind of exhausted all the options. So I think it was really cool to see that work being done, and I appreciate them letting me join. And other than that, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday break and travel safe if you are not what.
I'm
Oh, Maria.
here.
Before we stop, I am very remiss in not including Maria. So you get to wrap us up.
I don't I haven't left my house much, but I want to give a shout out to the social media building teams as well as Diana at the district office. I've been spending a lot of time on devices. So it has, I mean, the work that the buildings are doing and then the reshare on the district website, kudos. It just highlights all the good work that's happening. Going from elementary to high school, the tech center, West Side, different student populations, Avid, etc. So kudos to those teams that are doing an amazing job highlighting and showcasing what's happening at the building. That's all I got.
All right, that's a much better wrap up than what I had. So thank you for finishing strong for us. Other than that, meeting adjourned.